You know, we don't have answers. We don't have answers to these questions, but we're really trying to honestly ask these questions to ourselves about, you know, what are the choices we're making? Not only with clothes, but with transportation, with fuel, with burning fossil fuels. We're burning fossil fuels to do this work. We are. Nobody here is a saint, but we are trying to look honestly at what our choices do, what the choices we make impact future generations. This work is dedicated to my grandmother, who died in the war, who was a crocheter, a crafter herself. And this work is also dedicated to my son and to his kids. And so, you know, we think of ourselves and the choices we make, we think of ourselves as ancestors of the future. And the choices we're making right now are creating a world for our children's children's children.
It's hard to imagine driving home a message, an activist's message in every performance. But we can drive home an activist's question. Inquiry. Does art inspire inquiry? Yes, it does. Can Bandaloop move inquiry into action? Yes, it can.
I get down on my knees by the river, hear my old friend calling to me. It may be too late to heal these waters. I know the past don't wash away. You can still see the plastic. Ooh, yeah. Smell the chemical gases where the kids still play. Say I gotta move on. Ain't no way I belong, 'cause things don't wash away.
We are also looking for a way to use our performance as a way to bridge non-denominational partnership with sacred space. How do we bring that together and create a welcoming for anyone who walks in the door, for anyone who walks by that sacred site? And does that welcoming and ritual of dance, vertical or not, open a doorway for others to make use of that site? To bridge the gap between an audience that feels welcome, invited, interested, and wanting to share more. The architecture of the Beltline. Creating a container, a line for pedestrians that is sacred for the runner and the walker and the stroll. And the connective tissue between all those small businesses that create their wellness here.
With the work that Flux Projects does, there is a core audience that will follow us from location to location. But every place we go, there is an audience that already knows that place and uses that place and has that place as part of their daily life. And they're going to come across our work accidentally. And that is incredibly valuable in terms of broadening the audience for the arts and also shifting how people think about the city and consider what's possible here.
It's like taking a museum and turning it inside out and using dance as a medium to connect the dots.
Art is for everyone. Unfortunately, ticket prices aren't for everyone. So that's another joy, is that we are all here together at the same time. Being up on the building, you see a human, you smile at them, they smile back, they see you, we see each other. I'm experiencing from them and vice versa. That's the best. That's the best.
You're looking up at the dance, you're opening yourself up. Within that, we've found that not only have we shifted perspective of where the dance floor is, perspective of what we think is dance, but we're also opening an opportunity to connect our spirit that is lifted from dance to our audience's spirit that is lifted from dance. And in that, there's a beautiful union between performer and audience. We're performing in Budapest. Our performance on the side of a a tower not much different than 725 Ponce, you know, a place of work, not a place of worship, a place sitting on top of a subway station. One of the most beautiful comments that came from an elderly man in Budapest who spoke English quite well, but his wife did not, yet she was there speaking to me in her own language. They brought directly to my feet how we celebrated and transformed a piece of property that spoke to them of nothing but sadness and fear. A property that was so close in their history to war, trauma, suffering, to a past that they lived through and wonder if it will keep repeating itself in the trauma and war-torn nations that are happening all around us. And BANDALOOP arrives, bringing light and levity to this memory of trauma for them, and brought a smile not just in the moment of the dance and the ritual of dance, but brought hope. Hope that something else could happen here.
That was a blessing. That was a blessing to get that feedback right after the show and go into the audience and be like, okay, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because it moves people. And sometimes we don't know why. We don't know the mechanics of that. We just make our art. You know, we follow what we're passionate about, and we meet audiences where they're at. And, you know, if the grace allows, then people are moved, people are changed.
And believing that art in a place forever changes how people see it. So it expands what we think is possible, and that art has a residue. And so it causes you to see a place differently, but it causes, when you see it and then it's not there, it brings an awareness of the impact that art has and how it can shift.
But now my perspective is not just shifted from the art and the arc of the art, but it's actually a literal movement, and I walk away approaching life differently. We've seen time and again that this perspective-changing art, dance on the side of a wall, bandalooping, allows for people to think differently. That it truly opens a pathway, because if you can do this, then the sky is not the limit.
Of the heavy load on the wind, beating hard, I see the cottonwoods of heart. She stop and start, foam and bars, and the threaded heart.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at aibtv.com. Follow us at Watch AIBTV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And subscribe to AIB Studios on YouTube.